What's up, guys? Today I want to talk about overtraining. Does overtraining truly exist? I think it does exist. Let's, for example, say that you haven't been working out or exercising for most of your life, and suddenly the new year comes, and I personally never do this, but some people they feel like this is new year, new me, so they make a gym membership on January, like everyone else, and they feel like, okay, this is new year, new me, new life. This is my new life, okay? And so they start the gym membership and start working out. And they start their workouts with 2 hours with very high intensity. And then they say to themselves, okay, from now on, two hours, 4 days a week, always. And then what happens is they get home and then they realize their muscles are so sore, it's just painful. Those of you who know, those of you who have worked out, I'm sure you know that when you haven't trained a muscle in a long while, or maybe even if you just train a muscle period, there's sometimes a day when after you work out it's just so sore, just moving it is painful. Even more so if you have to do things. For example, if you train legs, walking around is painful, and if you train chest, for example, if you're a Muslim and you have to pray, the part where you go down on the ground is kind of unpractical. And if you train arms, for example, the same thing happens. When you lift something, you feel soreness. So that what happens is that falls into all of these falls as factors that make the person who did those workouts lose motivation. First, he feels soreness, and then he feels that his days are kind of hard because of the soreness. And then he starts to think about the effort he has to put in. And then tomorrow he has to put in 2 hours again, and he has to feel another muscle go sore. And then all these thoughts add up upon each other. And then eventually he is defeated by his thoughts. He's like, you know what? Tomorrow I said I would work out, but nah, I'm not gonna work out tomorrow. I'm too tired. And then tomorrow goes into the next day, and then he's like, yeah, next week, obviously, I'm gonna do this next week. He never works out again after that. He paid for my gym membership and made it more cheap, basically, because I work out all the time. And the reason I can work out more than people who drop out is usually at the first period after falling off the exercise habit. I also do this. I feel like I'm imagining myself, after stopping running, for example, stopping the habit of running, and then I want to start again. I'm imagining like the heights of that I reached when I was still running. Like, for example, I was running 3 to 4 kilometers with a pace of what, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, maybe four, maybe six. I don't know. I don't remember. And then I'm sitting here after not running for months, and then I'm imagining, yeah, I'm gonna do this tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, and then I'm so lazy, and it's raining, or maybe it's just cold, and then I imagine having to put in so much effort in running those 4 kilometers that I just end up, you know what? I'm not ready for it. There's gonna be a time when I'm ready for it, but it is not now. So I end up not running. So what happens when I wait for that moment? It never comes because that moment only exists in my mind. Well, how I do end up running is I just remove all expectations and lower my ego. Basically, I'm just the same as every other chap and every other blood that hasn't been running their entire life. I'm just the same. So, what would be progress for me if I never ran in my entire life? To be honest, just wearing my shoes and going to the place I want to run and just jumping around a bit, that is already progress. Or maybe just walking there after lunch and walking there and just surveying the site, like, damn, this is where I want to run. That is already progress. And then after that, I just run around a bit every day or every according to schedule, run around without any particular target. And then after a week or 2 weeks, or maybe after a month of doing that, then will the running feel like a normal thing. Wearing my running shoes will feel like a normal thing. And then I can start putting targets on it. Like today I want to run 1 kilometer. Today I don't want to run 2 kilometers. So basically, if you're just starting at something, especially exercise, because we were talking about exercise, you should lower your ego and really start at the lowest level possible. So if it's at the gym, maybe you're just gonna swing around the weightless barbells. Maybe just sit on the bench with the light dumbbells, just the 2 to 3 kilograms, 4 kilograms, just doing the simple exercises. And then when you get used to it by yourself, you'll start increasing the weight. That's it basically, guys. If you want to stay consistent, you have to make it easy enough that you can do it every day or every day of the schedule. Making it easy will keep you consistent for the long term. Of course, there are times when you have to push your limits, and and if you don't push your limits, you're never gonna go anywhere. But on the consistent side, there will be many days when you just don't have that that dog in you. Those very cold days, with those rainy days, when you don't feel like going out at all. It is good to have the minimal bar of just a very easy workout. So as long as I just go there and do my easy workout, I'm done. And of course, by the time you reach there and you do your so-called easy workout, you're gonna forget about everything that happened before, like the rainy day and you're in your bed sheets and all that. All you're feeling is the pump of the metal on your hands, and you end up doing the workout you always wanted to do, which is the hard workout. Anyways, that's it, guys.